Hey, welcome everyone to our series town halls that we try to do every now and then. We are super excited to have a few amazing speakers for today because we're going to be talking about all about Global Entrepreneurship Week. For any of you that don't know, Global Entrepreneurship Week is an annual celebration of all the things that are entrepreneurial in that sense. I know we're going to really kind of go over what is the Global Entrepreneurship Network, and we have special guest speakers like Ellen Bateman, who's going to help talk about that, and also Dwayne Rollins, who was the state coordinator for 2020. And then we're going to go over some upcoming opportunities. But first, what is the Global Entrepreneurship Network? Before we dive in with Ellen, let's kind of learn a little bit more about what this is.
I'm Jonathan Altman, president and founder of the Global Entrepreneurship Network. What we're about is creating an opportunity for anybody, anywhere, to unleash their idea. We want to make sure that the guy that's got the worst deal on the planet has an opportunity. At the Global Entrepreneurship Network, we've built one global entrepreneurship ecosystem that allows anyone on the planet to be able to connect, understand, support, and celebrate the entrepreneurs that represent so much promise for our future. We went in with the belief that we could create a common culture across the globe in the interest of entrepreneurship and innovation. We learned a lot of techniques and tools about ultimately how do you build a community that's across the world? How do you cross national boundaries and cultures and religions and languages? We discovered something that was common in all people. They have this enthusiasm and curiosity about making the world a better place. We tried to provide some structure, but allow a lot of flowers to be blooming the way they wanted to. We have divided our work into 4 primary cornerstones. We want to be able to connect everybody across any aspects of an entrepreneurial ecosystem to find peers, find markets, and find opportunities. Secondly, we want to understand the field better. We want to elevate the field based on research and data. And then thirdly, we're working carefully to provide the best support programs we can find. The last part is we like to celebrate. It's where we began with Global Entrepreneurship Week, which is the notion of making the role of the entrepreneur be perceived around the world as being a force for good, as being the individuals who are able to create new value in our societies and can really set an example for all of our citizens in the way we go about living our lives. Entrepreneurs are the great equalizers. They bring the ability of anybody to be able to have the opportunity no matter where they come from in the world. That promise of entrepreneurship is always what's empowered our community.
And so we're going to have special guest speakers, and thank you so much to them, Ellen Bateman from the Global Entrepreneurship Network and Dwayne Rollins from SeedSpot. Now, first, we're going to go into what is Global Entrepreneurship Week exactly, and we're going to dive into Ellen right now. We are going to share a little bit more about what that is high level.
I'm Jonathan Altman, and I'm with Global Entrepreneurship Week. Global Entrepreneurship Week is challenging to understand in some respects because it's 35,000 events happening at the same time in 125 different countries. Global Entrepreneurship Week offers you the opportunity to come and test your aptitude. Join a networking event. Come and meet a mentor. Come experience a boot camp. Come and experience some other element of the startup community in your city, in your town, and learn about whether or not at some point in your life you may have the interest and the skill to be able to join a startup. And I think this has been effective in allowing people to feel that they're not only driving more of their fellow citizens to consider the path of entrepreneurship in their own countries, but they're learning and participating with people from other nations. It's really in the hearts and the minds of the individuals in each of these countries. There's a way that now we think entrepreneurs might be the force for change in their countries for things beyond just economic change, that they can actually make the world a better place. The field of entrepreneurship is no longer something of narrow commercial significance. It's something of more cultural consequence. It's something that represents the possibility of human endeavor for the benefit of all. The globalization of startup communities actually gives the world a much better chance at solving some of the intractable challenges of the decades past. So in a sense, we see more citizens trying their hand at helping the world innovate its way out of its challenges. The world needs more entrepreneurs. It's a question of inspiring more people to recognize that it's more important to the future of their societies than they previously recognized. Global Entrepreneurship Week is an idea bigger than all of the communities that make it up. And it represents something that we can all aspire to, which is to be part of one global community of people ferreting out better ways of doing things and improving the lives of our citizens.
So without further ado, Ellen, welcome to the stage. How are you?
Good. Thanks, Stephen.
Awesome. Well, super appreciative of you joining us. We learned a little bit about Global Entrepreneurship Network and GEW. What can you tell us in addition to that? What would you like to share with the community here?
Sure. Well, Global Entrepreneurship Week is a great chance to shine a spotlight on the work your community is doing to support entrepreneurs. There's entrepreneurs of all stages. It might be those taking that side hustle and trying to turn it into a business, or those that are raising their next seed round and are much more advanced in their growth stage. So it's important to recognize that there's entrepreneurs all across the spectrum and they all need our support and resources. So that's a great time to celebrate them, host activities that celebrate them. It might be a workshop. It might be a class that you're having. It could be a boot camp, a pitch competition. The possibilities are really endless in terms of hosting a celebration. So we're just trying to get as many communities involved so that we can really celebrate nationally in the United States. All of that's going on. We have events across all 50 states. It's a great chance to collaborate outside of your state as well, but also have a really strong statewide campaign. We see lots of states and communities come together to have really robust statewide initiatives and programming during that time. And also communities that reach out to global communities to share cross-border collaborations and learn from each other. Entrepreneurship is not something that is singular to one community, so it's great to learn what's worked there that they can take home and share with their networks.
Great, and you've been a major proponent of Global Entrepreneurship Week for years now. For you, what is the impact you're aiming to make, or what inspires you to keep focusing on GEW year after year?
Sure. So, we know a lot of the big names in entrepreneurship, whether it's Austin, Texas, or Silicon Valley, New York City. There's so many communities in the middle of the country and all over that are really doing great things in terms of building robust ecosystems and supporting great places for entrepreneurs to thrive. And I think it's really important to recognize those communities as well. And this is a really great chance to elevate the work they're doing. During Global Entrepreneurship Week, we really like to try to highlight them through our social channels and share their stories. We give them an opportunity to share that through our newsletter and on our website. We want to hear their creativity and what they're doing in their communities that allow those entrepreneurs to thrive. So I think that's really important for those to recognize that there is investment in entrepreneurs starting businesses every day in places outside of traditional tech hubs.
And I love the initiatives that happened during GEW. I know one of them from last year, I'm an Entrepreneur, to kind of celebrate the entrepreneurs in the ecosystem. And I know you had different topics for 2021. Any topics come to mind, or what are you all thinking for later this year?
So I think we're going to stick with our four global themes of ecosystems, education, policy, and inclusion. Those are four kind of broad themes that we encourage people to host activities that kind of tie into one of those themes, but we do encourage other themes and things that are really relative to what's happening in your ecosystem. Of course, a couple of topics popped up last year, health and resiliency. You know, what was happening, what was popping up to allow companies to pivot during a time of COVID. And of course, I do anticipate, as we're seeing some progress there, potentially recovery being a big topic coming out. So of course, we encourage you to plan activities that are relevant to you, your community, and what you're experiencing in terms of entrepreneurship at the time.
And I know some of the comments here are starting to roll in. You know, they're asking, all right, we can host events, but how do we do that? Are there any specific steps? What do they need to do if they wanted to start thinking through this?
Sure. Well, we encourage anyone, anywhere to host an activity. It can be as small as you want or as big as you want. And it's important to note that it can be virtual or in person, up to your safety and at the time. But we encourage you to go to GEW.co or GEWUSA.co to check out our USA website to figure out how to get involved in the USA campaign. And there you have some resources, but you can also create a Gen profile, which will enable you to register your event on our website. We ask that you do that so we can share it broadly with our network. But other than that, you can just use the branding and help celebrate it as part of the global campaign. There's really no requirements to the size, the type of activity, just celebrate entrepreneurship in your community. And it might be something you already have on your calendar for the fall. Global Entrepreneurship Week is November 8th through 14. So if you already have a workshop or 1 million cups or some other great entrepreneurship type activity taking place, then no need to reinvent the wheel. You can use our logo, our compass logo, as part of the global celebration, and place that on your activity to show that you're participating.
Awesome. And we're gonna pop in the next speaker also on the stage, kind of have a nice little conversation. Welcome, Dwayne. You might be muted, Dwayne.
Oh, there we go. I thought I had unmuted, but yeah. Hi, how's it going?
Awesome. Well, great to have you. And, you know, for everybody that's watching, you know, the GEW team, you know, we have Ellen from the Global Entrepreneurship Network that gives us lots of guidance and feedback and tips on how to, you know, host a great GEW. But we also have other folks like Dwayne, like a state coordinator and things of that nature. So there's the team behind GEW. I know, Dwayne, you were the state coordinator for 2020. How was that experience like, and what would you like to impart kind of on the next generation of entrepreneurship organizers here for GEW?
Yeah. So I think the beauty of being a state coordinator is that it's an opportunity for you as an individual to really elevate your community, right, when it comes to entrepreneurship. And the idea is that you can use and leverage your network, your experiences, and the people that you've met over the years to come together to really celebrate all that's happening, right, in your local community. So it's a responsibility and an opportunity for you to get in front of new people and then help elevate some people who have been doing some great work year in and year out to build community around the fantastic entrepreneurs that we have in the DMV region.
For 2020, and I think we got some of the dates here mixed up. What was that like, Ellen, from a high level? I guess from a global level, you know, what did 2020 look like?
Yeah, I think 2020, much like for everybody, it was just full of uncertainty, right? Because you were at a time where people didn't really understand fully what was happening with the pandemic and didn't know if it was going to be something that lasted as long as it did or if it would end before. And so we were initially planning, we weren't sure if it was going to be virtual or in person. And then we had to switch. It's like, is it going to be hybrid by that time? So it was a lot of uncertainty, to really plan the event. But what was beautiful about it is that the community really rose to the occasion because people realized how important it is to just come together to stop, pause, celebrate, support, help, mentor, teach, share, right, in the community. And that was one of the most amazing feelings that I've had, is seeing so many individuals wanting to give of their time, of their expertise, to teach other people how to navigate this region as they look to build businesses or grow businesses, or support people who do those things. And Global Entrepreneurship Week, it has entrepreneurship in the middle, but it's really about the ecosystem around entrepreneurs. Right. So entrepreneurs are the ones that have the courage to get out there and take the risk, but you also have the people who join their teams. You have the investor community that comes out and supports them. You also have policymakers that play an important role in the startup ecosystem, and bringing them together and having them have conversations with the actual entrepreneurs and how that works. And then with any business, you also have all of the operations that go around it. And what we're seeing now is that more people are shifting to entrepreneurship, whether it's on the side or whether it's out of necessity due to the gig economy. And there's much more that goes into it, and helping people understand the operations that go around like any business, whether it's payroll, healthcare, finding your legal structures. Those are all like really important aspects of building a robust ecosystem outside of the individual with an idea to really change their community or change the world around them.
Nice. And Ellen, from a global perspective, what was the global impact, or what did you see happening globally?
Sure. So traditionally, Global Entrepreneurship Week has almost all been live events. That, of course, completely changed with COVID. And we saw the emergence of more virtual events. Something that triggered was events were usually very focused on their community. We saw a lot more collaborations happening, whether that be within the state or across state lines, but also across the globe. It allowed more people to attend events that were not happening in their city, their state, or even their country. So I think that allowed for a lot more cross-border collaborations, sharing experiences, and events of larger scale, but also larger collaborations. And I think that's here to stay. I think more people liked that kind of aspect of Global Entrepreneurship Week. While there is a focus on their community and learning and sharing those resources, learning from others is a great aspect of that, and something that I think will continue. And we'll see lots of that. And I think more hybrid events as well. So we'll have some people in person, but also streaming it out for more people to participate.
And in terms of impact, in terms of numbers, any I know you all do an impact report every year. And any final numbers for GEW from last year that you can share?
I can share in the United States, sure. We had 1,000 events, give or take, in person. Well, not in person, but virtually taking place. And we had about 500 partners as well across the United States, which is great participation, especially in a year that was so unprecedented. So we're really excited to see those numbers come back from where they were in 2019, with lots more participation and a lot more stable year. But it was really great to see we had 99 colleges and universities participating, even with their whole academic calendars in flux, and a lot more student engagement online. So really exciting to see that. And lots of policymakers speaking up as well. We had governors, congressmen, senators, all joining us virtually, and a lot of activities, because this was a big year for policy with an election, but also with lots of things affecting entrepreneurs and small businesses. So we had lots of conversations around PPP and where the future stands for funding, et cetera. So I think that's there to stay as well. And we need to keep them engaged in the conversation. And we want to tell entrepreneurs how they can engage their policymakers to make sure it's an environment in which it's sustainable for them to start and grow their own businesses.
Yeah, from a policy perspective, I know DC, when we done GEW, we started last year to kind of think through entrepreneurship and policy and some of the talks and programmings, and hopefully we can continue that on this year as well. I guess in terms of timeline, we're launching this now. We're letting people know GEW2021 is coming. So in terms of a timeline or high level overview, how should people start planning their 2021? Should they have events by a certain time, or what would you all recommend?
Sure. So I know it seems early, but November really does come fast each time. So we like to start the conversation earlier. Go ahead and put it on your calendar for the fall. It for sure will be November 8th through 14, whether virtual or in person or some combination. So we want you to start thinking, do you have something already on your organization's calendar that you would like to register as part of as a participating event, or do you want to plan something? What size is it, et cetera? So start thinking about some of those logistics. Reach out if you have any questions. We can help you. We have an idea bank. We're happy to help with that or connect you to some resources. So now is the time to just kind of start that brainstorming process. Ideally, you'd have something registered on our website by September. The earlier is registered on our website, the more we can help you in promoting it. If it's last minute, it's a little bit harder. And we can also help troubleshoot if there's anything going wrong. So the earlier you register on the website, the better. There is no deadline, of course, for doing that. You can upload them at any time, but we are focused on getting them all up there, hopefully by the end of September.
Yep. And Dwayne, hindsight is 2020, they say. So what did you learn after the fact that you would any best practices or learnings to kind of share with any new organizers for GEW this year?
Yeah, I would say you just want to make sure you get on people's calendars as early as possible. And it's really about reminding, right? Because the first outreach and letting them know happens, but you want to continue to remind people and continuously engage them in the overall event and the overall process. And then just locking in sponsors early, finding those people who want to champion the work that's happening in the community, and they're going to make sure that you have some resources to continue to make all the events as good as they can be and a true reflection of the community itself.
Awesome. And I know we're kind of at the hour almost. We have some comments rolling in. Somebody already has an account. I'm guessing they might mean a Gen Global account. How did they get in touch with somebody who's planned before? Oh, Helen, you're muted.
You did. You, of course, can email me with any specific questions you might have, and I can guide you in the right direction. My email is ellen@genglobal.org. I'm happy to kind of dive deeper if you have a specific person you'd like to be in touch with or talking to someone who'd like to engage. Steven's planned many events in the past. So if you're talking about the ins and outs of planning an exact event, that would be on the type of event you'd want to plan, the size of event, when and where. A lot of those kind of factor into who the best person you'd want to talk to is. But there's people across the country we can connect you to. We have a huge network nationally with people who love to share best practices in terms of planning GEW campaigns.
Awesome. And again, a reminder, GEW is coming up November 8th to 14th. We're all in this together. We're all part of the same ecosystem. So we love to collaborate as much as we can to obviously improve things for all entrepreneurs. And so great to have some of you already looking to reach out. That is exciting. And any last words, Ellen or Dwayne, to kind of share with the community, with the next generation of organizers who want to get involved?
Yeah, I'll just share that this is a great opportunity to meet so many people and so many more people that are part of the ecosystem, here in the DMV area. Just the conversations you'll have with the people who want to organize the events. You'll learn about some new players. You'll learn about who's doing what, where, and when. And much to our surprise due to the pandemic, since everything was virtual, it provided us an opportunity to sit on other states and other countries' events too. So it was really nice to see how they approach entrepreneurship and some of the nuances in their communities and the overlaps. So it was an opportunity to both support and learn so much more about ecosystem development and all that's happening in your local community and around the globe.
Yeah, and I second that. It's a really great opportunity to get to know your ecosystem. But of course, if you're interested in what's happening in Silicon Valley, you can of course participate in an activity there, or reach out if you're interested in getting new panelists with this new age of more virtual events. It's a lot easier for you to get them to participate because they can participate from their couch instead of having to fly them in or things like that. So it doesn't hurt to ask or reach out or try to get more VIP CEOs, celebrities, policymakers, et cetera, to participate and share their insight on entrepreneurship. Because it's going to be easier for them to get involved and keep pushing and get them to share their insight. So we're happy to help at any stage of this process. If you have questions, please do reach out. There's plenty of time right now, but it's always great to get an early start.
Yep, and I'll second that. It's the power of the network. I think that's what, year after year, I just am amazed at the amazing people that are part of the Global Entrepreneurship Network and the week in particular. And it's not just here in the US, it's a global initiative. So you get to meet ecosystem players and stakeholders across 170 countries. Apart from Global Entrepreneurship Week, there's other initiatives like Global Entrepreneurship Congress, the Startup Nation Summit. There's so many things within the Global Entrepreneurship Network that you can get involved in. And starting with Global Entrepreneurship Week is that first step to then start connecting into that global network as well. So definitely beyond just GEW, just the Global Entrepreneurship Network itself. If you want to expand beyond the local DC bubble, even beyond the national bubble, you can start to get involved, and you'd be surprised. The amazing people, the connections you can make just by staying involved. So I know for me, that's always been one of the things that I cherish about the Global Entrepreneurship Network itself. And, I'll be around as well. So any questions, definitely feel free to ask any of us and we'll be supporting as best we can for the ecosystem. And I know I'm super thankful for Dwayne and Ellen, who year after year, are part of this and support this as much as they can, because, we're all busy, but, we all try to give first and do what we can to help create more diverse entrepreneurship community. So thank you so much, Ellen. Thank you so much, Dwayne, for all you do. And we hope to keep connecting and meeting some of the new organizers that are looking to join on board this year.
Fantastic. Happy to be here. And Stephen, it was truly a pleasure to get to work with you and see all you do to make events like this and many others happen across this region.
All right. Well, thank you, Dwayne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. And we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly. We're going to,
Well, hello, everybody. This Global Entrepreneurship Week, I wanted to take a moment to share a message of hope and encouragement. Entrepreneurs are the dreamers, the doers, and risk takers that have the opportunity to transform society for the better. I didn't even know that I was an entrepreneur when I started Virgin. The word wasn't really used back then. I was a young man with big dreams of creating businesses that solved problems and helped improve people's lives. When I first learned the word, I had to ask how to pronounce it. French was never my strong point. Everyone has the potential to become an entrepreneur and to create positive change in their communities. I'm proud to support the Global Entrepreneurship Network, a charity with a mission to make it possible for anyone, anywhere, to start or scale a business. They want to unearth a new generation of entrepreneurs to help figure out better ways of doing things, to create jobs and new opportunities in the wake of the pandemic. So if you've ever wanted to start a business, head over to the Global Entrepreneurship Network and check out all the great resources they have available. Cheers.
So amazing celebrities and influencers from Richard Branson to Guy Kawasaki and many more tend to join in for Global Entrepreneurship Week. So also just great to be part of that community and crowd. So again, this is a labor of love. Most of this is volunteer based, and we do it because we want to see the next generation of entrepreneurs succeed. There's a big community advantage to this, being part of that Global Entrepreneurship Week and network. So definitely stay involved. And we have some upcoming events coming up. So really, to close this off, I'm just going to share that we have a Facebook group, one of the largest in the Washington DMV area for entrepreneurs, the DMV Startup group. So feel free to join in, ask questions, be involved as much as you can. We have a different calendar of events coming up. So if you want to learn about some of the events in the area, feel free to hop over to our calendar. And some of the programs that are close to heart, like the Founders Institute program, they have their application coming up. So for any entrepreneurs that want to join in and learn how to raise and kind of grow and accelerate their business, Founders Institute is a program that's in the area. And much thanks to SeedSpot for all they do. Dwayne Rollins is just an amazing community builder. And so they do different programming and events over at SeedSpot. One of them is the Angel Investor Training that's coming up. So if you want to learn how to be an angel investor, definitely check out their training program. The deadline is April 14th. So you want to hop over and check that out sooner rather than later. It's coming up soon. And of course, Kaufman Fast Track. Early deadline if you want to kind of grow your business, you don't know how to start, or you kind of want to learn what's the framework and how do I improve my business. Early deadline already ended, but the last deadline is coming up on March 5th. So definitely join in there.
The way they taught us in Fast Track, is there a need? You got to find a need. They taught me how to do a name search for my business, legally, financially, how to get everything started, and just where to begin from start to finish. Just learning all the aspects of a business, because having worked for corporations my whole life, I had no idea what was involved in starting a business. So they teach you everything from start to finish on what you need to do and what steps you need to take. What a wonderful program to be able to get out and start your own business. I never dreamed of starting my own business, but it's just been wonderful to be able to create and turn my hobby into a career. I'm pleased to say that my business has grown every year since 2015 when I started. Every year it's a little bit more, a little bit more. That's important because you want to see growth. I did start with my own savings and have not had to take out a loan or look for funding. I am just maintaining enough growth and I can stay in business and enjoy what I do.
Another program that's coming up is Startup Boost, their pre-accelerator program. Their deadline is coming up on March 22nd. They take no equity. There is no fee to be part of this accelerator program, one of the few ones that don't have a fee. And they're also a global network as well of accelerators and mentors. So definitely check this out if you want to be part of this accelerator. And they're just launching in DC, but they have many chapters all over the world. So definitely check out Startup Boost. Again, the deadline is the 22nd of March if you want to hop in and apply for this pre-accelerator. And of course, lots of the things we do over at Swago, we work with lots of community partners who are doing amazing things to not just help entrepreneurs thrive and succeed, but to make sure that it's equitable. And we have more diversity and inclusion in all these programs and opportunities. So one of them, 1863 Ventures, just going to share a little bit about them very quickly.
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. If you want to leave a mark, you gotta go through it. There are no trending topics without trendsetters. Some of those trends came at a heavy cost. We are updating the definition of entrepreneur. What they look like, where they come from, and what it really means to succeed. This new definition makes it plain. There is no correlation between race and entrepreneurial aptitude. Because we are creators, we are moguls, we move the culture and people. At 1863, we get it. Because before everything else, we're founders, we're advisors, and educators. Our membership represents the future. Behind this movement is an understanding that any flower growing in the dark is disadvantaged from the start. This is bigger than clout. It's bigger than retweets and follows. We value outcomes over optics. We pride ourselves on the expertise we bring and our ability to put you in front of the right people at the right time. We light up the darkness.
(1863) Ventures, great program. Right now they have $850,000 in grants for new majority business owners for Black founders. So if you're part of the DC area, they also are in different other states that can qualify for this grant initiative. Definitely check them out. Again, this is great grants, so it's not something you have to return back. And again, it's to kind of help us rebuild after this pandemic. And they have different programming and events, so just great network to be a part of if you're able to find some time. And of course, we have a spotlight series of different entrepreneurs. If you feel that there's a rockstar entrepreneur, or maybe there's a rockstar community builder like Dwayne or Ellen that we should kind of highlight, because not all the time we're not thanked all the time. So definitely, nominate them as much as you can. Link will be in the comments below. And of course, we have a startup guide in case you're new to the area. Then love to share how to kind of fast track you into the ecosystem as much as we can. Links will be in the descriptions below. But that's about it. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, time is very valuable, and we appreciate your time here. Any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us, especially Ellen for Global Entrepreneurship Week in the USA. There's different resources from the Entrepreneurs Toolkit for entrepreneurs, or just a community group. Head over to Facebook and join the chat. But super excited. Thank you for joining in. And thank you so much for our amazing guest speakers, Ellen, Dwayne. They always give their time. And so really, really appreciate them for all they do for the ecosystem. And thank you to our amazing partners and sponsors over the years, from Global Entrepreneurship Week to other events and initiatives. They are the ones that kind of help us, keep things moving, so to speak. And to end on the note, we are a reflection of the community. We're always collaborating as much as we can. And it's really about how to help people kind of co-create things together, because that's what makes belonging matter. And that's good community groups. So thank you all. Thank you again for joining us. Any questions, feel free to send an email, reach out to Ellen, me, Dwayne for Global Entrepreneurship Week. And we're super excited to have you join in for GEW2021 later this year. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your week.